Hi, I'm Chad Nelson, CEO of the Surfrider Foundation. 2020 has been a challenging year to say the least. But through it all, the Surfrider Foundation pushed forward, and thanks to the tireless efforts of our grassroots network of volunteers and our expert staff, we had over 62 coastal victories to protect our ocean waves and beaches. We kicked off 2020 pre-COVID by bringing over 150 activists to Washington, D.C. for Coastal Recreation Hill Day, where we championed climate change, clean water, and healthy beaches. We held over 150 meetings with representatives from around the country and met with the Special Committee on Climate Change at the Senate. Once COVID struck, we quickly adapted to ensure that our network was safe. We updated our protocols for all of our on-beach activities and started researching the impacts of COVID and how it might affect water quality and beach access. We subsequently worked really hard with local and state government to ensure that we could reopen beaches across the United States safely. With new COVID safety protocols in place, we were able to resume some of our activities at the beach, including our beach cleanups, where we moved to solo beach cleanups so individuals could go down to the beach and pick up trash to help solve the plastic pollution problem. Through our Blue Water Task Force monitoring program, we were able to restart monitoring of beaches all across the country to ensure that the public knows if it's safe to surf or swim. Another significant win for the Surfrider Foundation was a Clean Water Act case that went all the way to the Supreme Court, having to do with a Maui injection well where wastewater is being pumped into the ground and impacting coral reefs. It was called the Clean Water Case of the Century, and we won, and it strengthens the Clean Water Act all across the country. The Surfrider Foundation also scored a pretty rare bipartisan victory by helping pass the Great American Outdoors Act, which funds something called the Land and Water Conservation Fund that provides $900 million for public lands and waters all across the United States. After 15 years, with thousands of activists and countless hours put into it, we finally saved Trussels Forever by passing state legislation that prohibits any road from being built inside San Onofre State Park. Over the course of this year, we've been able to pass 25 plastic pollution policy wins, including state legislation in both Washington and New Jersey to reduce the impact of single-use plastics on our beaches and the ocean. This fall, the Surfrider Foundation is really proud to release our State of the Beach report, where we evaluate states' ability to respond to coastal impacts from climate change. Those include sea level rise, increased storms, inappropriate development, and plans to adapt to changes we're going to see in our lifetimes. As we headed into one of the most divisive and important elections of our lifetime, the Surfrider Foundation launched our I Vote For campaign. With the help of activists and some of our ambassadors, we encouraged all Americans who care about our coast and ocean to exercise their democratic right to vote. So let's talk about what's coming up for 2021. The Surfrider Foundation has identified 3 priority issues to focus on. Those include plastic pollution, clean water, and climate change. On the plastic pollution front, our goal is to stop the flow of plastic pollution into the ocean. Plastic pollution is one of the greatest threats to the health of our marine environments. Surfrider Foundation's goals are to pass the federal Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act, the first comprehensive bill to address plastic pollution from production to disposal nationwide. Our network will continue to clean our beaches and engage over 30,000 volunteers in cleanup events to remove over 200,000 pounds of trash. Our second goal is to protect clean water for all people. Water pollution at our beaches threatens the health of surfers and swimmers and causes over 20,000 health advisories each year. The Surfrider Foundation will ensure that the Biden administration and Congress hold up the Clean Water Act through sufficient funding and enforcement of water quality regulations and programs. Our third priority is to drive federal action on climate change. The Surfrider Foundation will work to pass the Ocean Climate Solutions Act. Key elements include banning new offshore drilling and protecting 30% of ocean habitats by 2030. Surfrider will also help states and communities adapt to climate change impacts, including sea level rise and coastal flooding. This includes pushing for stronger coastal policies and supporting adaptive planning. The Surfrider Foundation will push the Biden administration to aggressively implement its climate plan, including rejoining the Paris Agreement and transitioning the United States to a 100% clean energy economy. So from all of us here at the Surfrider Foundation, we want to thank you for your continued support. Without you, we would not be able to achieve the amazing work we do to protect our ocean, waves, and beaches. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.